Willards to Pittsfield to Parsonsburg. Bypass around Town Good, 50 good to the Bay Bridge. That's your traffic for the Voice Radio Network.
All right, 722. Good morning to everybody jumping on our Facebook Live this morning.
Good morning.
Don't forget, check out the Bill and Jessica podcast right up on our Free Power app in your app store, top left-hand drop-down. You can listen to segments from our show every day. Also up on our website, power1017.com.
Yep.
All right. We go live to the hotline right now. Want to welcome pro sports agent Chad Speck. We appreciate you checking in. Good morning.
Hey, great guys. How are y'all doing?
Yes, welcome. We appreciate you checking in.
Welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, where are you calling from this morning?
I'm calling from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee. All right, very good. Well, you know you're calling Ocean City, Maryland. Have you ever been over this way?
Oh, yeah. You know, and with what I do, man, we hit every place.
Wow. Well, look, we wanted to get you on this morning to talk about, some of the people you work with, some of the stuff going on in the sports industry, et cetera. So who are some of the, big athletes that you've worked with?
Well, our biggest one is probably Eric Berry. Most people remember his story. I mean, he's top 5 pick back in 2010 in the NFL draft with the Chiefs. Went on to be All-Pro, was the highest paid safety in the NFL twice. And then, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, overcame cancer, came back to be an all-pro player and Pro Bowler from there. Did an NFL record contract for him twice, did an NFL record contract for Albert Haynesworth, when he was with the Redskins. We've had, multiple first-round picks, over the years. And then right now we've got about 20 guys, in the NFL. From most of my guys right now are defensive players, but in some offensive linemen, we got Cam Irving, who just signed with Carolina Panthers, be their left tackle. Daniel Thomas, safety with the Jaguars. We've got Jarrell Taylor, Marlon Davidson. Those are both guys with defensive linemen that were second-round picks last year. The starting middle linebacker for the Browns, Mac Wilson. Starting safety, Ronnie Harrison for the Browns as well. Our guy in the draft this year is a safety out of LSU named Jacoby Stevens. All
right, well, I have one question. Have you ever played paper, rock, scissors with any of those players?
No. That was an unbelievable story to me.
I'm just asking. You never know. Paper, rock, scissors.
For us, too.
What was your whole take on that, press conference with the Eagles' new head coach?
Yeah, it was interesting, man. I mean, it was actually pretty surprising. I mean, you talk about, when you hire someone, you want to win the press conference. And
yeah, but look, the Philly media, I listen to a lot of sports talk, and we're in Maryland, and I'm a Washington fan, and we'll get into that in a sec. But watching the Philly media destroy him, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy was just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
You better get used to it, huh?
But I mean, look, was it really that bad? I don't know. As an agent. Was it really that bad? I mean, you know more about sports. You're around more sports than I am.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the guys in the locker room, that he was getting ready to go coach. I mean, they probably had fun with it, and we're kind of wondering what exactly is going on. But at the end of the day, it really boils down to just being able to win that locker room, set a culture, and win games.
Will Sirianni last in Philly?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I have a great opinion on that or not.
All right, now let me ask you this. You're a big part of the players' union, right?
Yeah. Well, every agent's a member of the union.
Okay, so talk to us a little, because I just got a little bit confused. What was the whole, teams and players holding out, going back to training, the voluntary training early? Well, can you kind of give us a background? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Just player safety. The NFLPA, doesn't feel that it's a safe environment yet, for there to be.
Because of COVID?
Yeah, because of COVID. They feel like cases are spiking. Cases spike some in different markets, and they just, recommended to the players that.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
They just don't think it's worth the risk.
I'm sorry, but I gotta cut you off here because you just got done a season. How all of a sudden is it not safe?
Yeah, that's a great point, and some players are going and some players are not. But I think it's the risk reward. I think that there's when you're in the season, obviously that's the job. That's what revenue is being generated through games, et cetera. And I think the NFLPA's perspective is, hey, we didn't have off-season workouts last year, and it worked out fine. It kept people safe. It mitigated risk, and there's no reason to need to do it again this year. Right now, I think it's really just a risk mitigation factor.
I don't know, because it was just kind of frustrating reading that story. And I mean, do you represent anyone that is, holding out and saying that they're not going to go to the training?
No, and the other thing everybody has to understand is it's voluntary right now. I mean, a lot of players don't go to these things anyways, even in a regular year. And so,
they're making it a thing. They're making it a thing. Like saying teams are going to hold out. You know what I'm saying? So
if it's volunteer anyway, and most of them don't even do it anyway, why'd they make it such a big deal?
Yeah, I think the media is making it a bigger deal, honestly, than what it really is.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I think the media has kind of blown it up into something that's bigger than what it really is. I don't think too many of the teams or the players are really all that worried about it.
What's your team? I know you represent a bunch of teams. What's your team?
Who's your favorite? You can tell us.
I grew up. So y'all aren't gonna like this, but I grew up in Dallas, so I'm a big Cowboys guy.
All right.
Growing up.
Hey, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you.
It's hard to be a fan. It's hard to be a fan, doing what we do. You really become fans of players. But as a kid, man, I was diehard Cowboys.
Wow. So how are the Cowboys looking? Dak Prescott, how are the Cowboys going to look this year? Because what's crazy is that we live in Maryland, and like Maryland, Delaware area, Eastern Shore. And, there's a lot of Ravens fans. There's a lot of Washington fans, a lot of Eagles fans, but there's so many Dallas fans, too. I don't get it.
You're everywhere.
Well, it's America's team, man.
Yeah, right. So
I don't know. I don't know if I have a lot of confidence in the Cowboys this year. I mean, we'll see. They're strapped, from a cap standpoint quite a bit. I mean, Dak's coming back off injury. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, we'll have to see what they can do. They got a lot of players coming back off injury, so it'll be interesting. But I'm personally not expecting anything great.
Right. Okay. Well, look. Okay. And who's going to win the NFC East then this year? If you're not expecting a lot great, then who's going to win the NFC East this year?
Well, I mean, even though I'm not expecting great, the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East.
The worst. All right, so real quick, you also, I know we've been talking about the NFL the whole time, but you also represent PGA. You also, any contact with Tiger, Phil Mickelson? Just a question, because that's the golf that I know.
No, been around those guys, but no, not any kind of personal relationship.
All right,
there.
next question. All right, NBA. I hear that you have an NBA draftee that is coming up. Jaden Springer, tell me about him.
Yeah, Jaden Springer, man, is a big-time player. He's a McDonald's All-American, 5-star recruit out of high school. He's one of the classic one and done, coming out of Tennessee. He led them in scoring as a true freshman, even though he didn't start 9 games. I mean, he's just an incredible prospect, and he's been on kind of the basketball scene for a while. And he's gonna have an opportunity to be a lottery pick, and he's got a lot of people in mind, going to go on to be an all-star in that league. And so we're excited to kind of get back into basketball. And he's actually being trained by a court trainer named Keith Williams, who's right there from the Baltimore, Maryland area.
Oh, nice. Now, while we're on the subject of NBA, what are your NBA picks? How do you think, my Sixers are looking? How do you think, is it Brooklyn a bust? What about these Knicks? What's going on? Come on, super agent, tell us.
Yeah, 76ers look good. Brooklyn's a bust, in my opinion.
Yes. Yep.
Brooklyn's a bust.
And I said the whole, offseason, I was like, look out for Brooklyn. I'm telling you, look out for Brooklyn. But it seems like every week something's up. Somebody's taking off.
Look,
somebody's injured. What's going on? You know?
Yeah, in my opinion, they're going to have a really hard time come crunch time and playoffs getting that team to come together.
Yeah.
There's some incredible individual talent on that team, but also some talent that's proven that they're just hard to play with.
You think Steph Curry's going to stay with the Warriors?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
My son loves Steph. And look, in my opinion, and look, people can argue with me all day, I think Steph Curry's the greatest in the NBA right now. He is. Thank you. From a professional.
Yeah, he is. He's the MVP. If he's not the MVP, then something's wrong.
Absolutely. Well, look, pro sports agent Chad Speck, thank you so much for checking in. We appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Again, good luck. You have anything you want to promote? You got the last word. Go ahead.
And I appreciate it. If y'all want to learn more about our business, you can go to h3athletics.com. There's links to all our social media there. And you can see a lot of what our guys are doing in the communities. That's a big, really important thing to me, that players give back when they have the opportunity and the platform to do so. And so there's information on our social media about the guys that give back. And I don't think there's ever enough stories of the good things that these pro players do. They far outweigh the bad that we always hear in the news. And most of these guys are just really good men that do a lot of great stuff with the platform they've been given.
You ever represented radio host before?
I have not.
All right, well, don't worry. I'll call you later.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, have a great day, my man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, you too.
We have your Crayola Factory tickets in Easton, Pennsylvania.